What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back for another review of Love and Hip Hop Miami. This is season 5, episode 5, and the episode is titled Caribbean Rhapsody. So we start this episode off with Trick Daddy. I had no idea that he actually coaches a Little League football team. Good for him. I feel like that's something to keep Trick busy, and it's a way for him to, help the youth. Good for Trick Daddy. But here's the thing. That was not even the main focus of this scene. We have Gunplay, Trina's brother, and Safari having a conversation about Gunplay and him getting into it with DJ Envy. So we already know he basically got into it with DJ Envy because he was supporting his friend Rick Ross, who could handle his own arguments. But according to him, Envy is the one who brought Gunplay into the conversation. Now, my main problem with Gunplay explaining what went down is the fact that he fails to bring up the fact that he brought Rick Ross a new chain while he was laying in his bed, okay? Rick Ross' boobs were all out in the video. You gave that man a chain even though you just collected money on GoFundMe. So, of course, the public, because Envy pointed it out, that, you buying this man a chain, but you have a GoFundMe. So the public is like, well, it seems like y'all are living off of the GoFundMe because that's what social media made it look like. So people, they requested their money back. Also, if you had money to go buy Rick Ross a chain, you don't need our little dollars, okay? You don't need the public's dollars for this. You should have been able to put your own money down. I feel like that's how the public viewed it. So I guess he went on some podcast and he went off about it, cursing, dissing people who took their money back. But it's like, sir, why are you not mentioning your role in this? Yeah, it's because it makes you look like you're crazy. Like Von Shay, what did you say to your man when he told you, yeah, babe, they coming at us sideways because I ended up buying Rick Ross a chain? Because it makes no sense. And also, like I said before, if Rick Ross is really your friend like that, and he saw the people, they took their money away from the GoFundMe, he would have given you that money so that way y'all ain't got to worry about it. Because remember, that's supposed to be your friend, your partner, your ride or die, whatever that is to you. Make it make sense. Nonetheless, basically they tell Gunplay, you can't go back to being the way you used to be. Because we already know Gunplay has always been a little firecracker. So now Safari wants to talk about his situation and how because he gave Marla Nager's children the 2 Rolex watches, people are coming at him about what he does for his own kids. Now, one thing that I will say is that I don't know what Safari does for his kids, but I would hope that the same way that he is, gifted out Rolex watches, he treats his own children well. One thing that I will say is I agree with him. I don't have to post everything that I do for my kids online. He's right about that. Another thing, I think when it comes to Safari and Erica's situation, I feel like it's because we constantly hear Erica talk about how Safari don't do nothing for his kids, that people have that narrative that he don't take care of his kids. What I think is happening is the fact that he take care of his kids and gives them things when they are in his presence, and when they spend time with him, he don't give nothing to the kids and it goes to Erica. I think that's what's happening here. But nonetheless, Safari goes on talking about him and Amara are going to go see a pastor. Sir, y'all are really dragging this storyline, okay? Not to get married or anything, but just for a blessing. And according to him, he's real spiritual, and that's what helped him get through the divorce. All right, cool. Let's move to the next scene. So we actually slide on over to Flo and her girlfriend, Claudia, and they're talking about what happened at the party where, she saw Marlon, and he gave the flowers to Joy, and it pissed her off, so she poured drinks on him and all of this stuff. So Claudia is like, okay, so, this is why I was telling you I should go with you. We should just go ahead and come out. Blah, blah, blah. But for Florence, she's like, no, I'm not about to let him embarrass me. When you think of the grand scheme of things, that is very embarrassing. You in the club, you see technically your husband, because they ain't divorced. Hell, I don't even know if they actually are separated, considering they have business ties and all types of stuff going on still. So you see your husband with some flowers in his hand that he about to give to the next girl. That sounds crazy. And you just gonna stand in the club and smile? You're not. You're gonna be upset about it. Because at the end of the day, everybody in the city or whoever is around may not know what's going on in your relationship. However, they do know that that's your husband. And it looks crazy as hell that your husband is over here giving another woman some flowers that ain't you. Now, do I think that Flo should have showed out the way she did? Absolutely not. So Claudia, she's questioning if Flo is still interested in Marlon or whatever. And Flo is like, no, I have no interest in him. But like I said, I feel like it's the embarrassment that everybody knows that that's your man. Well, not your man, but that's your husband. And he giving somebody else some flowers. Here's the thing also. Florence, you need to untie all the business dealings that you have with this man. That's the only way you're going to get him out of your life. Is if you cut ties with him completely. The music, the food, the restaurants, the, beauty bar, all whatever he's tied to, you need to cut ties with it. And then she goes on to say that basically she feels like, this is her karma for going to see that one woman who does, I don't know what she did, hoodoo or voodoo or whatever that lady was doing. But girl, you should have went down there to begin with. You played yourself. Here goes Claudia though. Claudia's like, well, at your song release, I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna be all up on you, kissing you, touching you, rubbing you, all of this. However, Florence does not want that. Florence wants to separate her music life, her being an artist, from her personal life. And I get that you wanted to separate the two. However, Claudia seems like she wants to be out and about, proud with her girlfriend. Now, I don't know if this relationship is for clout or not, because at the end of the day, they knew each other for years prior to all of this, but only time will tell. According to Florence, though, she doesn't know what her parents will say and, what the community will say. It's like, well, girl, you got to live your life at some point. You know what I'm saying? But let's go ahead and move on from there. So, y'all, we have to suffer through Safaree and Amara La Negra. They go to Safaree's church and they talk to the pastor. The pastor is talking about, them making their way down the aisle for marriage. Why are we here? Because y'all ain't even together and you about to play in this pastor's face? For what? Then for the pastor to walk away and for her to talk about how, Safaree plans to get this vasectomy and how she's going to have more children. There's no if and buts about it. She's going to have more children. I feel like Safaree had nothing to say this entire scene. Let's go ahead and move on. So now we see Zoe Brinks. Is it Brinks or Banks? Damn, I can't remember her last name. We see Zoe, okay? She's in the studio. She is actually rapping and singing. This song sounds better than the first song that they played from her. This one is way better. Bobby is in the studio with her. He's basically here to do damage control for Trina because Trina showed her ass the last time that Zoe saw her. So we have Bobby explaining that, Trina doesn't know her and basically that wasn't the best place for her to meet Trina. So clearly he's going to try to set up something else for Zoe to meet Trina. So then they go on to Zoe's backstory. We learn that she's practically homeless because, she's living out of her shop. Her family has a house, but there's no space for her. Like, I really felt bad for her in that moment. And Bobby basically told her, like, hey, you should just go ahead and have a conversation with your family. And the only thing that I can hope is that that conversation goes well, because I cannot imagine your whole family sticking together, you know what I'm saying, and you got to live out of your shop, out of your, place where you do work. There's not even a place to shower in there. You know what I'm saying? I really feel bad for her because she felt like the black sheep of her family. But let's go ahead and move on. All right, so now we get the fake friendship of Shay and Amara. They meet up or whatever. They don't know what version of each other that they're going to get because at this point, I feel like these ladies are not real friends. The reason why we keep seeing them do scenes together is because they ain't got nobody else to film with. So they basically talk about Amara and Safari and how, she wants more kids. Shay is like trying to tell her in a nice way, well, why are you trying to waste your time playing around with Safari if he already letting you know he don't want kids anymore? Ma'am, that means that you need to date with intention. I'm sorry, but I'm with Shay on this. Amara, why are you wasting your time? And Amara's going on and on about how I'm having fun right now. I'm doing this, that, another. And like Shay said, so you gonna do all that without your feelings getting invested? How you gonna do that, girl? Like, let's be for real. Amara, you are already in your 30s or whatever. You should be dating intentionally, especially when you're saying that you want to have more kids, you want to get married, you want to have this whole thing going for yourself. And that's fine. But it's also fine to have fun with a guy or whatever. But like Safari, for real? But we already know that this relationship ain't even real. But here's the thing. Shay questions Amara like, hey, have you talked to Von Shay? And basically, she's like, nope, I ain't talked to her. And I don't know what's going on with them, but they got a lot of drama over there. I don't want no parts of it, basically. And I'm just like, again, nobody on Love and Hip Hop Miami is friends. Because if that's your girl, because you said that this was your friend, you would at least check on her. I mean, in her confessional, Amara's like, I don't know what's true and what's not. I don't know if they spent the GoFundMe money or not. But y'all, let's go ahead and move on. Because we have Trina talking to her cousin Joy. Y'all, Joy is out here trying to explain to us how, she basically has fallen for Marlon. Talking about, we were working together and, girl, ain't no. Trina is like, girl, absolutely not. You don't need to be with Marlon. He still got drama with his wife because he ain't divorced yet. Joy, stop playing. Now, in her confessional, Joy is talking about I'm a big girl. I know how to handle stuff, blah, blah, blah. But why at this big age do you even want to be involved with a man that has this kind of drama? You got to look at yourself, Joy. Come on now. Like, you are too old to be trying to date somebody that got that kind of baggage. Nonetheless, they talk about Trina for a minute and her dating life. She ain't worried about dating. She wants to focus on herself and all the things that she has going on. AKA, she ain't checking for Raymond. Thanks for the flowers. That's all he got. So they basically talk about how this single release party is about to happen. And they just want things to go smoothly. No drama. You know what I'm saying? Because Trick Daddy will be there. Marlon will be there. Flo will be there. Everybody who, usually stirs up the drama will be at this party. But let's go ahead and move on because we actually got another scene with Zoe. And this one was pretty sad because she went to her mom's house and the mom got a brand new house. Very big, very spacious it looks like. And she's literally showing Zoe around the house. The one that she cannot, sleep at. Like, the fact that the mom was adamant about how she needs to get a job, her career ain't taking off in music, all of this stuff. And it's just like, but ma'am, she does do hair. So clearly she has a job. What I'm trying to figure out is why can't she live with you? Like, the girl is telling you that she's living out of her car and y'all ain't even offer her the couch. Like, that is crazy to me. But Zoe said that there has always been a difference when it came to the way that their mom treated her versus her sisters. Now, I don't know if it's that they have different dads or whatever, and sometimes there are people who will take out their anger and frustration because they had a child by a person that they don't really rock with no more, and they start treating that child bad. I don't know if she felt like, Zoe was always a problem child or a rebel. I don't know. But the way that the mom was acting towards her, I felt so bad for Zoe. I'm just like, I really want her to win at this point. Because the way her mom just dismissed her and didn't care that she treated her differently or didn't try to offer up, oh, well, you can crash here sometimes or something. That blew my mind. Like, I just haven't felt this bad for, somebody on a Love and Hip Hop show in a while. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and slide on over to Gunplay. He is shooting a music video Next thing you know, Shay, she ends up walking in so that way she can have a conversation with Von Shay. And honestly, y'all, as much as I be giving like a side eye to Shay, because I'm like, she ain't really got nothing going on like that as far as storyline, I feel like Miami needs Shay and they need Bobby Lights, because they are the only two who kind of mingle with multiple people on this show. So that way, if there's drama happening, they're able to carry, the drama from one place to another. So I get it. So basically, Shay is just checking on her to be like, how is everything going? There's all this drama in the media with Gunplay and the GoFundMe and all of that stuff. And Von Shay talks about how Gunplay is now drinking a lot more. His behavior is starting to become a little erratic, y'all. This is the starting point of the downward spiral of Gunplay. So she talks about how they're just going through a lot. And she thanks Shay for her friendship, how Shay has been checking on her, even when the baby was in the hospital, all this stuff. She's like, you're the only person who really checked on me. And she's like, well, what about Amara? Girl, she ain't heard from Amara because Amara is not her friend. Amara was only there to her little baby thing, sip and see, so that way she can get some film time. She can get some screen time. Amara ain't nobody friend. Now, according to Von Shay, though, her and Amara, they had a rapport where they talked all the time for about a year. And basically, Amara fell off the face of the earth. But like y'all already know, I don't care for Amara. So let's go ahead and move on. So y'all, we are going to the party. We see Flo is with her girl, Claudia. They get in the party or whatever. And Claudia introduces herself as Flo's girlfriend. Now, who does she introduce herself to? Bobby Lights. Baby, that was the wrong person to introduce yourself to. Because next thing you know, Bobby is making an announcement to everybody that this is Flo's girlfriend. And I'm just like, Bobby, please, shut up. But at the same time, we need you on the show to keep the drama going. All right, so next thing you know, Trick Daddy, he shows up or whatever, and somebody had asked to see his teeth, and Bobby was like, everybody over here has gotten their teeth done or whatever. And according to Trina in her confessional, she feels like Bobby is back to his old ways because, as we saw on the last season, she stopped rocking with Bobby. But again, she needed somebody to film with as well. So here we are, she's back with Bobby, but we gonna see how long that lasts. So next thing you know, Marlon ends up showing up. We see him talking to Trina's brother, and basically he let him know, oh, well, Claudia, that is now Flo's girlfriend. According to Marlon, he's known he's known Claudia for a while, and basically he thinks that Flo is just doing this whole relationship with Claudia just to get under his skin. Y'all, out of nowhere, we see Gael. According to her, her life is in shambles because her sister went to that old lady who put something on her. So now she's here to confront her sister. Now, as she trying to confront her sister, Claudia's getting involved. And she's like, what does this have to do with you? And Claudia's like, well, that's my girlfriend or whatever. So Gael ain't even fazed by her. She's just here to confront her sister. She going back and forth with Flo about how she needs to go get this reversed, all this stuff. And next thing you know, Claudia's chiming in. Her and Gael exchange words. All I know is that Gael threw a drink on Claudia. Claudia goes and reaches back. She grabs a glass, throws it at Gael. I'm just like, Flo, you was worried about the wrong things. You were worried about drama with Marlon. It's your girlfriend and your sister that's out here causing a scene. Now, speaking of Gael, baby, she said, I'm going to be seen and heard today, because next thing you know, she done slid her way on over to Trina, telling Trina about her sister and all of this stuff. And Trina's like, ma'am, you need to handle this outside of the club. And also, Gael, why are you running to Trina to be tattletelling on what your sister has done to you? Trina ain't got no parts in this, and she definitely has no solution. So get away from Trina with this drama. Please stop. So we finally get Flo. She's announcing the song. They play the song, play the video. It was cute for what it was. She acts like this is about to drastically change her career, and hopefully that works out in her favor. Here's the thing though. The one thing that stood out to me as we kept seeing like flashes of the video and different people in the crowd, and that is, why is Miami Tip there? Y'all, Miami Tip, she is either trying to get back on this show or she likes to be an extra. I'm not understanding why she's always around. Like, you don't have nothing else to do? Because it's not like you're on the show. Like, it's very strange to me, but nonetheless. So Bobby is out here doing his job, being the messy person that he is. And honestly, I can't knock it because this show needs it. You gotta have somebody to carry the mess around because, like I said, Loving Hip Hop Miami, the groups of people do not interact with each other. Like, Amara's not hanging out with Trina and Joy. Flo doesn't hang out with Princess or, Shay. Like, the friendships aren't really there. The guys are working with each other on Miami, but not the women. So Bobby goes over there to be messy. He see Trick Daddy. He like, so let me give you the tea of what's been going on with Joy. Because we already know Joy, she can't get from up under Trick Daddy. He ain't trying to give her that divorce. Hell, honestly, I think that Joy likes it. But nonetheless, you have Bobby saying, listen, Marlon, he gave Joy this bouquet of flowers. And before he could really go into any type of detail, Trick was like, I don't want to hear this. That's not what I came out here for. Get Bobby out my face. I don't feel like being around him. Oh, so now Bobby is feeling away because Trick don't feel like talking to Bobby. I completely forgot that last season there was an issue between Bobby and Trick Daddy. So Trick still probably ain't feeling him from then. Nonetheless, Bobby's like, well, I'm just telling you whatever. And he starts to like put his finger in Trick's face like, oh, you gonna be on that, you tripping or whatever. And Trick is like, get your hand out of my face. So now Trina is chiming in, telling Bobby that he gotta like chill out because you're doing too much. So next thing you know, Bobby is out here talking about, so he about to gag them and all of this stuff. And like, here's the sad part. Bobby, I feel like you ain't with the right cast. I think that's the problem. Bobby don't need to be on Miami because Trina don't ever want to be around no drama. You have Trick, who ain't really trying to rock with gay people like that. And I just think that Bobby's with the wrong cast. Now, I think that if they really want to switch things up, bring Bobby to Atlanta because they intermingle more. And I would love to see him be a ball carrier over there. That would be way more interesting than with Miami. So next thing you know, Trina basically kicks Bobby out. She tells him that, you can go, you can exit stage left or right. And he ends up leaving. And according to him, he wasn't being messy. He was just being honest. Sir, you were definitely being messy because this is not information that Trick Daddy had to know. And on top of that, you know that Trick don't really rock with you like that. But then what annoyed me, y'all, was the fact that in his confessional, Trick Daddy is like, Marlon, I thought we was friends or whatever. I can never be your husband-in-law, whatever that means. And basically making it seem like he got an issue with Marlon. Sir, you wouldn't have even known that information if it wasn't for Bobby. Yet you want to kick him out? That's lame. But y'all, that was the episode. Let me know what y'all thought about it. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.